Well, hello, this is Rochelle and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing some of the watercolor techniques that I learned with Andre in our watercolor class. There is a video or a little vlog of that event. You can go watch it on my channel. And so, yeah, the passage is Genesis 24, and it's actually the verse where I got my daughter's name from. Her name is Rebecca, and it's where the family blesses her before she heads off to marry Isaac or to be with Isaac. They didn't date first, they didn't explore and see if they were compatible. They listened and they were obedient. And so it's just little lines or more detailed lines, squiggles in the center, and then spreading it out with the brush and water in swirly movements. Even though it does look like it bleeds through there because it's wet, it doesn't actually, and I was quite impressed by the hold of this page. This is an unprepped page. I did not gesso this page first like I usually do. And yeah, you need to understand and remember that even though this is thicker paper, it is still not watercolor paper. So I wouldn't go over and over and over a wet piece multiple times because it will fray the paper. Mixing a darker shade of green there. The green that comes in this little kit that she gave us to play with is quite bright, and so I wanted it a bit more subtle and a bit more olivey green than that bright one. So I just added some brown, trick and technique that I learned from Andre, and this is just some of the techniques that she taught us to make a wreath. So we practiced leaves and we practiced flowers, and I'm just throwing it all together. I nearly said gooiing. Gooiing is an Afrikaans word that has become an English word here in South Africa. You've got to try and say that with us. So anyways, enough of the funniness. Again, mixing some yellow in with that just to get a different shade. And I'm literally just playing. There's no plan. There's no predetermined anything here. These, I don't know what they were supposed to be, did not come out like I wanted them to, and so I changed the shape of them completely just now with a different brush. These are round brushes, and the technique is simply to start with just the tip, then press down on it so that it's flat, and then lift it up again so that it's just the tip. Still working on that technique. I'm gonna get there soon, I know. And so here I'm just using some pink. I wanted to do some, I don't know, like cherry type things, you know, but I couldn't get the green quite as thin to make little stems, so they're just dots and they're just there. You've got to give yourself the freedom to explore and to play. Play with mixing the colors, see what happens. I am not very learned in the color wheel theory, so I mean sometimes it makes brown, and I've got to learn that by mixing. It's the only way my memory is gonna remember these things. So again, just making little squiggles to add into that wreath and to fill it up a bit more, leaving some white space in the center. Which just adds a bit of realistic, I don't know, elements to the flowers, and dimension, I suppose, to make it look more 3D and not as flat as one stroke would be. I want to just speak a bit about the scripture as well. What I read in this, and as the family blessed her, and the process of the servant taking Rebecca for Isaac expands, it really is a God thing. And so often we want to add our, God bless me, in what I endeavor to do, not realizing that God had already blessed us. Our purpose from the beginning was to live this blessed life that God has already given us. He's already made it possible. So you don't have to work at it or, keep on asking everyone to pray to bless you, because you are blessed. It is who God made you to be. It is who He is. And that's not dependent on who I am and what I can do. And so I was pondering on this even as the family, blessed her. That blessing was hers to start from. And so she didn't have to work for it. There was no qualification she needed for it. She was made to be Isaac's wife. She was made to live this blessed purposed life. And so we see later in her life also she tries to, do it on her own. She tries to manipulate the blessing of God. And we don't need to. We can just live this blessed life. And so I'm just continuing to paint and play with the watercolors and adding some yellow to complement the purple. And adding some stems and some little greenery detail just to fill out the wreath to make it look a bit more fuller. This is a very thin round brush. I suppose it's called a detail brush, I'm not sure. Again, my strokes aren't perfect because I pressed too hard. My accountant rigidity wants to, perfect it, but the trick is to just let it flow. So I'm underlining the verse, going to be adding my tab and my date stamp. Do remember that this page is not prepped, so I'm not entirely too sure if the ink and the VersaFine Onyx date stamp will bleed through. We're playing. It's very hard for me to play with this beautiful Bible because I don't want to mess it up, but it ends up surviving and being fine. Just give yourself permission to play. So I stamped it off on a piece of white paper first just to get the excess ink off so it's not as dark. And I'm adding my tab, putting some purple highlighter washi on it. And that's that for this page. I hope you enjoyed this video and that I wasn't too chatty. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.